Welcome to the Way to Go podcast, talking today with my best friend about how to be a friend. So, I wrote something really nice.
Buttering me up.
Listen to me. I wrote something really nice about you on my Instagram post. I had a picture of you behind the truck, and I say, doing anything with her is great.
It's very nice.
Something like that. It was. I thought it was. I said in church, you were my best friend. I said it.
Yeah, we are best friends.
Yeah, I mean, because you're my best pal, and you're the one that I talk to about everything, even if you don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? I talk to you about it because that's the kind of friend we are. So I think that when you look at relationships, and I would say that we are built clearly by God to be social creatures. If you look at the descriptions of the church, it's the body of Christ. And it's like you might be a finger, you might be a toe, you might be an eye, you might be an ear, but you're part of that body. And you see so much. I mean, I think it's built within us to be social. Mm-hmm. It's built within us to kind of want to connect with other people. Even COVID's kind of scary, actually, because I think people are pretty disconnected. But I think there's that need to connect with other people.
Oh, yeah. We absolutely want to hang together with people, talk to people, socialize, communicate. You know, if you're alone all the time, it kind of can be an empty feeling.
Right.
And it's hard.
Right. Yeah, I think so for sure. But it says, I remember reading a verse when I was a kid. It's like, basically, if you want a friend, be a friend. That's a big paraphrase, but I mean, I got that out of the Proverbs, especially the King James version back in the day. But I remember it's like, okay, those who have friends will show themselves friendly or something like that.
Yes.
And I've often felt like, yeah, it's kind of up to you to have friends, to make friends. I remember when I was a little dork in 7th grade, I had all these dorky friends, you know what I mean? We were like 4 little dorks that hung out every day together. But, we palled around and I had buddies and it felt good, to be honest with you. You know, so it felt good to have friends.
Yeah, it's nice to have somebody that's there with you, kind of going through life with you.
Yeah, how important on a scale of 1 to 10 for you is it to have friends? Honestly, now scale of 1 to 10.
Well, to have you would be a 10.
Oh.
I mean, I have friends.
I know.
Yeah, I'm not super social, I guess.
Right.
I love to go do things when we're doing things together, but I'm also very content to sit home in my house and do my thing.
This woman here could honestly drive all the way to California and never turn on the radio.
I have driven 8 hours with never having a sound in my car.
Right.
Yeah.
By herself. She could drive. I get into the truck from here to the church, which is 2 miles, and I need noise right away. I can hardly get to the end of the driveway. I want to hear something. I never run in quiet. If I'm out doing something in the yard and I can take the music, I'll take it with me. I always want something
Bill
going on.
can't relate to it. He got me a boombox. He bought me a TV for the basement. So while I'm working in the basement, I can have something to watch and something to listen to. They're like brand new.
Now, ask Jeri what she's thinking of. Hey, Jeri, what are you thinking about right now? Nothing. Nothing.
What
Driving down the road,
laundry I
she looks
gotta
deep in
throw
thought.
in?
What are you thinking about? Not a thing. My mind's always going. The irony.
My mind's always going.
The irony is, like,
Still want to tell
I
you
think
what I'm
about a
thinking
billion
about.
other things. I fall asleep in a second.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? You think about sometimes not as much, but you go to sleep, you're thinking about stuff. So,
yeah.
But anyway, friends. And I think to me, it's very important to have friends. I think it's very important to be a friend. It's very important for me to stay in touch with my friends, to feel like I'm connected and I have contact and all of that kind of stuff. So it's important to know, like, how to be a good friend and what you're looking for. I mean, what do you want to see out of your friends? I mean, just off the top of your head.
Well, a loyalty and,
right.
Like-mindedness, people that I think like or relate to.
Okay. I'll go with that.
Like the same things. I like people that are funny.
Right.
I'm all about funny.
That's why you like me. I'm a goofball. So she likes her favorite little best friend goofball right here, me.
They're just people that are just down to earth. I'm not into pretentious or, just anything fake. I just like normal.
I think do things in common. Like, for Mark and I, we have, this job that we do together. So that's friendship. So sometimes you're friends with your staff because you're working with them, or at a certain job, you're friends because you work together, you do the similar things. Sometimes you're friends because of a hobby. We have friends with kayaking. We have friends, let's say hiking. Yep. Any hobby that I've ever had, I've typically developed friends. Some friends I have because they're hilarious.
Yeah, I do like friends that we do stuff together.
Right.
Yeah, because I think we're doers. We like to do things.
We like to do that, and we'll create a vortex and suck anyone in who wants to come
with
it.
us. Yeah,
it's usually not too many, but we do try. But in friendship, honestly, I think to be there through thick and thin. When I think of a friend, it says in Proverbs 18:24, one who has unreliable friends will soon come to ruin. There is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. So if you've got unreliable friends, you're soon going to come to ruin. And if your friends are unreliable and there's nothing that you can do about it, I would tend to get away from them because
they're not really friends.
They're not friends. I would say don't be friends with stupid people or you're going to get hurt. That's the honest, the good and the truth. I know that sounds harsh, but it's just true. If you have friends that are constantly doing boneheaded things, it's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get caught up in that.
You can't relate to it. Yeah.
Right. You're going to get caught up in it. So that would be, we talked in another show about, parting ways. That could be it. But I look at it like unreliable friends. It says if they're unreliable, they're doing dumb stuff. You can't count on them, whatever. That's not the kind of friend that you want. The kind of friends that are taking you down. The kind of friend you want is the one who's going to stick closer than a family member.
Right.
The one who's going to stick closer, it says here, than a brother. You could also say a sister. There's somebody who's going to be there through thick and thin. Those are the kind of friends that you want. So when you think about being that kind of friend who's going to be there through thick and thin, what would that mean?
I think that means that you're communicating, you're checking up on them. I have one friend that, has some health issues, and I try to check in regularly. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Do you want to get together, for a cup of coffee or just whatever, just to be there and be a support. Sometimes I had a friend that was just, sick recently, and just, take a meal over and just be a friend.
Right.
Someone,
that's a good one, right?
Someone that is there for your friend when they have a need.
Well, how about when you were sick and you had fever for 19 days? I mean, how many people brought food?
So many people brought food over, sent me cards. I mean, it was fabulous.
Yeah, it was great. So I would say, check up on them is one thing that you mentioned, one thing that I had written down. I think being an encourager, building into them, sticking with it. Sometimes, like if somebody has a hard time, I don't want to bail out on you. In other words, you get a flat tire in life. I don't want to bail out on you. I want to be there, with you and
it's
see
not
it,
all fun and games
and see it through. Yeah, it doesn't have to be, hey, it's not fun anymore because you're going through a divorce, or it's not fun anymore because you're going through a tough time. I'll bail out. As long as you're doing the right thing and you're trying to get it together, I want to definitely be there to help you. And I would say being a friend through thick and thin, like it says, there's a friend that sticks closer than a brother. I would say part of that would certainly be loyalty, right? And I super value loyalty.
Yeah, it's hugely important, because if someone is disloyal to you in any area, then how can you trust them?
Right.
How can they really, truly be a friend? Or if you're disloyal to your friend, like you're talking about your friend to someone else.
Right.
You know what I mean? What kind of a friend are you that you would do that? Even if you're upset with your friend, you should never go and tell someone else what they said or how you felt, because you're going to get over it and you're going to keep moving on. But you do that, and they're never going to forget.
Yeah, and your friend might not get over it. You got over it. You weren't upset anymore, but they remember it. Yeah, that can be. Yeah. But yeah, I would say that, a disloyal person just doesn't have your back, in a battle when you need them the most, and they're out there taking sides against you. That would be not good. Kind of like in the Braveheart movie where, Robert the Bruce lines up with Longshank to fight against William Wallace, and he finally attacks him and pulls off his mask. He can't believe
the look on his face.
The look on his face of
the betrayal.
Horrible. Like Jesus Christ with Judas Iscariot. I mean, how hard must that have been?
Right.
Know, you betray me with a kiss? Seriously? You're betraying. Like he called it what it was. This is betrayal.
Right.
Man, plain and simple. So yeah, value, loyalty. I expect it. Here's one thing I don't expect. I don't expect blind loyalty. I expect if I'm going the wrong direction, you're going to call me out on it, period. But Proverbs 17:17 says, a friend loves at all times and a brother is born for a day of adversity. So when the going gets tough, and, I think of what we've gone through with, as a pastor through COVID, it's been tough. And now we have mandated masks. I'm going to have to make another announcement in the church. And probably by the time people hear this, we've already made it. But yeah, the people that have been there and said, hey, thanks for what you do, or, they have your back all the time. I do appreciate it.
I think it's really important, if you're a true friend, to be an encourager. to be someone that is uplifting. And I love the verse in the Bible that talks about iron sharpens iron, where if you're a really good friend, you're going to help your friend and sharpen your friend even to be a better person.
Yeah. And, when the friends got plenty and the friends got nothing, you're still friends. It doesn't matter. And that's how you find out who your friends are. When you hit your low point, who's still around.
Yeah. If you're the candy man, everybody's there, right?
Yeah, right. So anyway, I think be there through thick and thin. If I'm going to be a good friend, and I think that we need to challenge ourselves in a day of social media, a day when it's easy to sit home and chirp on, Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or Netflix binge, and we can be by ourselves. I see a lot of it, by the way. People seem very content right now to just be at home alone. Yeah. Where to me it's like, man, shouldn't we be out doing something with that? Well, you and I always have, and we still keep doing it. But tell the truth, I think, is another one. Proverbs 27:6, the wounds of a friend can be trusted, an enemy multiplies kisses. So when someone is a truth teller in your life and they're not afraid to tell you the truth, those are the kind of people I ultra value. I don't want to hear what you think I want to hear. I want to hear how you see it. I want to hear what the issues are. I want it clearly spelled out.
Yeah. Right? Because sometimes we need to hear it. If you're out of line in one way or another, or if I'm too opinionated about something, like sometimes you'll tell me you're too opinionated. So then I have to take it back a step. I don't go out blurting my opinion all over, but I do to you, so it's one of those things where you just have to be realizing, hey, they love me and they're helping me.
Right.
It's not about criticism.
Right. Not for criticism's sake. Absolutely. Yeah. I think too, I've got to, when my top loyalty is going to be, to God.
Right.
And I can't follow you to hell and knowing that it's going against God's way the whole way. I mean, I've got to come back and say, no, I need to be there and doing the right thing no matter what. And I value God higher than I'm going to value you. And because I do that, I'm the kind of friend, I'm going to tell you the truth. Now, I've had dear friends do some boneheaded stuff. And when they do, I tell them that was stupid in no uncertain terms. Like I don't put gloves on. I don't get my fur mittens and slap them. You know what I mean? If it's a guy that can handle it, I lay him out. And I just tell them in no uncertain terms, dude, that was like way wrong, because they need to hear it. They need to know their friend's serious about it, because that to me is being a friend. A friend isn't like, oh, I don't really want to say anything. I don't want to hurt your feelings. I'll hurt your feelings if it's going to save your life.
Yes.
Absolutely. I've seen it with our own family. I'll hurt my own family's feelings if I think I'm going to save your life.
Yeah.
In the end.
Because in the end, what's more important is that we're on the right path. And that, relationships are restored, or, a person is doing the right thing. And sometimes it can be hard to say something. Right. But it's important. And I think it's a key is you're saying it in love. Right. That you're not going with a heart of, you're waving your finger and you're this and you're that. And it's an attitude of, I want what's best for you.
When you know somebody's coming to you and they love you to pieces, and they're telling you something, honestly, you should listen to that. When somebody, because they're, like you said, they're not coming because they're an enemy and they just want to pound on you as an enemy. They're coming to you to talk to you about serious things because that's how much they love you. They're putting it all on the line, emotionally on the line. They're opening their own heart, putting it at risk for you. That's something I would listen to, because when you know someone loves you, their wounds can be trusted.
Right. It's true. Because the enemy, you don't care if it's it's not that you don't care about your enemies, but you're probably not going to go to, an enemy and say something. You're going to your friend and, you want them to do what's right.
It's never easy. I don't think, like, whenever some are easy. Like if I'm really good friends with somebody, it's pretty easy for me to say, if they're doing something real obvious that, like, we got to figure this out. Like, we need to get together and we need to figure this out because it's not going the right way. And that's not, to me, it's not hard to do. Like little trifling things, I don't worry about.
No, it's the big stuff.
I don't like that color on you, Mark. That kind of stuff. I'm not worried about, I'm not worried about stuff like that. But when it's big issue things, then to me, I want people to be straight up with me, and I want to be straight up with them. And when American Idol used to be on, who was the favorite judge?
Simon Cowell, because he told the truth.
Because he told the truth. Yep. He was not like buttering them up. They knew that when they got his praise, it was merited.
Right.
Because he was a truth teller. So again, when somebody comes to you with a heart, like you said, saying love, and they come to you with a heart of love and they tell you hard things, it's not like it's easy.
Right.
You know, a lot of times it's hard to get to that point where you have to sit down and have a hard conversation with somebody, but you're doing it out of love. Trust that it says, let me say it again, wounds from a friend can be trusted. Mm-hmm. An enemy multiplies kisses. An enemy doesn't call you to account. An enemy lets you go and wreck your life.
Yeah, they watch you crumble.
They're not going to tell you there's a big 90-degree turn at the bottom of the hill and you're doing 100 miles an hour. Your friend's going to tell you, hey, hit the brakes because you're about to collide with something, right? Mm-hmm. That's a friend. A friend are also trustworthy. It says in Proverbs 11:13, a gossip betrays a confidence, but a trustworthy person keeps a secret. And I think one of the ways to know that you're a good friend is when you keep your mouth shut about stuff. And whether you liked it or not, you hear it, they told you in confidence, and it's never going anywhere. And if somebody tells you, hey, listen, I've had someone say, I have COVID, I don't want you to tell anyone. Okay, I didn't.
Right.
Wasn't anyone attending the church.
Yeah.
They're from the church, but they haven't attended the church since all this started. But they did get it. Don't say anything. I didn't say anything even to the staff.
Right.
Like, don't say anything means
don't say anything.
Don't say anything. Right. That's what it means to me. If you confide in me, I can't have one of the staff tell me something and I go to the next staff's person's office and did you hear about that? Yeah. Be town crier. No, it says you betray a confidence. A trustworthy person is somebody who will keep a secret.
And I think too, if you're going to a friend and you're sharing anything with them or they're sharing something with you, you should just assume you're not going to tell. They shouldn't have to say every time, don't tell anybody. Don't, you know what I'm saying? If someone's just having a conversation with you and your friends, you just know this is a conversation between us. Even if they're mad at you about something and they say something to you, maybe in a little bit of anger, you don't run and tell your other friends about it because it's going to pass.
Right. Right. I agree. Be trustworthy. I think that when you're really a friend, you're going to hold somebody's honor and dignity. And even if that wasn't great, maybe I'm a guy and I saw a friend check out another girl. Mm-hmm. I don't need to go, man, that guy's checking out, or I saw him do this, I saw him do this. Or, hey, that guy cursed right around me. I'm going to go tell everyone what they did. I'll say it to them. You know what I'm saying? If there's an issue, I'll say it to them. I'm not going to.
Go to the person.
I'm not going to share like silly things or mistakes people make or something that would make them look bad. Not if I'm a friend.
Right.
If I'm doing that kind of stuff, then I really couldn't count myself a friend because that's not right.
No. And when you find out that someone's done something like that to you, it puts a wedge in your friendship.
Right. Absolutely. I think too, it takes discipline to keep your mouth shut.
Mm-hmm. It does.
It takes discipline to be that trustworthy person, that faithful person that's just not going to tell their business. Because again, you tell stories on somebody. I've always assumed this, by the way, if I have one person telling me about A, B, and C, what they did, I know they're telling A, B, and C because I'm person D. I know they're telling A, B, and C what I did. You know what I mean? Because you just know if they're talking about every one of their friends, it's only a matter of time they're talking about me. I mean, I've known that since I always believe this. Don't gossip. Mm-hmm. Just don't gossip. That's always been a thing of mine ever since I was in high school. I always felt that if you don't talk about others, they won't talk about you.
Yeah. Bible says you will reap what you sow.
Right.
So don't sow it.
Right. But while we're on gossip, and it's not, it's a little step away from friendship. I mean, in friendship, we're like, hey, be there through thick and thin. You got to be the kind of friend who's going to tell the truth because the wounds of a friend can be trusted. You got to be a trustworthy person, certainly loyalty, but trustworthy, just being that person that can keep a secret. But when it comes to gossip, my rule of thumb is this. I believe none of what I hear and half of what I see.
Yeah. Yeah, because so many people, they distort the truth or they add to the truth. And I always try to keep this too. Is it really valid or something that you should say?
Right.
And even if it's true, do you really need to say it?
Right. So, yeah, just because, it's not gossip, it's true. Okay, it still doesn't need to be said. I had one young man came and talked to me about a group, and it wasn't even that I didn't even like the leader of that group. You know what I'm saying? That they've done rotten things to us, said rotten things about us. I didn't say one word about it. I didn't tell this young man anything about it. I just said, listen, let me just tell you something. My experience has been people say a lot of things. They're not always true.
Right.
And if I've heard some of the stories come back that I supposedly did, that I never did, I said, and I'm not saying that guy didn't do it. I'm just saying just because somebody said he did doesn't mean he did.
Right. Doesn't make it
so, true. Right. Just because somebody said it, it doesn't make it true. And there's a lot of falsehoods. And when you hear things, well, someone told my friend and my friend told this friend and this friend told me, you know, there was something lost way back there somewhere, because no one gets every fact straight. And oftentimes I've told you, no, all I really know is that he heard it from so-and-so who heard it. So we really don't know exactly what was said, because sometimes we think that's exactly verbatim what they said. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Yeah. But here's the challenge. Go be a good friend. Be a trustworthy friend. Be there through thick and thin, and don't be afraid to tell the truth. You guys all have a great and awesome week.